India's Most Trusted Brand of the Year Awards 2024 with the first award category, which is Best UGC NET JRF English Coaching in Delhi by Vineet Pandey. It goes to Professor Vineet Pandey.
दिल्ली में सीएमपी द्वारा दूसरा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सम्मेलन डॉक्टर दीक्षा त्रिपाठी ने थैनेटोपॉलिटिक्स पर चर्चा की।
Now, I would like to call on the dais Professor Vineet Pandey Sir, an eminent scholar and former assistant professor at University of Delhi, whose remarkable academic journey is nothing short of inspiration. He is widely known for his extraordinary achievement of having cleared 11 national eligibility tests, 2 junior research fellowships, and an astonishing 17 state eligibility tests, a feat that speaks not only for his dedication but also of his unmatched mastery over literature and research. Beyond these stellar accomplishments, Vineet Sir is a guiding force and a true inspiration to countless students and scholars. His tireless commitment, clarity of thought, and passion of knowledge have made him a beacon for young minds navigating the vast landscapes of learning. Today, as we prepare to hear his special address, we know we are in the presence of a teacher, a mentor, and a thinker who embodies the spirit of mainstream and mainstream post-humanist forum. Friends, let us rise together in a warm and heartfelt applause to welcome Mr. Vineet Pandey Sir to share his invaluable insights with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And before I start, and I would like to share some memories. When I was teaching in University of Delhi, a lot of colleagues used to talk about Shogata Bahaduri sir. So I must tell you, sir, I'm a fan from my starting career in University of Delhi. And meeting Shubhadeep sir, especially when you have gone through a great loss and you still made it here, this shows that how your father has taught you to have the commitment, the promise. So I would like to have big hands for these two professors. And for Diksha Tripathi, no doubt my better half, I want to say that she was being humble, that I've done a lot of help and I was supporting her. No, it's not like that. And to surprise you with this thing that I even did not know I'll be sitting with these dignitary professors. So thank you, Diksha, for giving me a lifetime memory. And I didn't know I have to speak. So I was better there having managements, but still. So we talked about death and all our other professors. Here we have Dr. Stephen Lawrence Ogner and Dr. Pentaris. So we talked about death, life, and as I didn't know, I'll be talking to you also. There's nothing in my mind. But how death has been taken in our history, in our cultures, and how death is being used in a political way or in different way to sort out the global issues. Some people must die so that others can live. Is it the reality or not? It is the reality. How the word Thanatopolitics comes. We take a reference of a filmy character, Thanos. He decided one day that let's wipe out half of the population so that the other half can live. Is it something fictionalized or something real that is going to happen in near future? Imagine this thing. So I was just thinking, what will I talk? So I remembered one of my lectures, I was studying Marxism. And then I got to know that the moment people started dealing with capitalism, they started looking at each and every one who adds a surplus value. If you are not adding value, you are a waste. And thinking this concept, no offense to anyone, but people who are beyond 70, beyond 80, the age they have crossed, what is their contribution in society? It's not my personal thought, I'm just sharing it with you because this is connected to Thanatopolitics. So I did a survey and I checked how many people have crossed 80 years age in India. 13 million male, 18 million female, 31 million, they have crossed 80 years age. Now, what is their direct contribution according to capitalistic market? So if you look at that perspective from Marx's point of view, that 31 billion population is actually a burden. Soon, this will actually start happening, where people will be buying your ages, people will start working on medicines that can make them immortal or give them longevity, and all others will have to pay the prices. There are researches, there are theories like this, that the COVID itself was an experiment that went wrong. So nowadays, what we are seeing about death and how earlier in ancient scriptures they have talked about it. So I'll mention Bhagavad Gita, as everybody has taken the reference. We talk about this, that once you die, it is the body that dies. As professors mentioned, it doesn't die, that it is soul. Nayanam Chedanti Shastrani, Nayanam Dahati Pavaka, something like that. This is actually from chapter 2, slok 23. They say that soul doesn't die. When soul doesn't die, what do we expect from the soul? So this concept gave a lot of concepts to horror movies, that you are a soul, you died with some unrequited love story or some desires, and now you are dealing with these things, though even if you have left the mortal world. This became the post-human studies. What about death? It scares everyone, according to Francis Bacon. As children fear to go to the dark, men fear death. But there are people who welcome it. If you remember Hamlet's soliloquy, he started thinking whether I should die, whether I should live or not. So they have fear. Emily Dickinson herself was traumatized. Throughout her life, she used to fear death. But then we have our own John Donne. He comes with a different philosophy. He said, death, thou shalt have no dominion. Death, thou shalt die. So how death has been portrayed? Some people say it may be a new start. Even in African cultural practices, they say death is just a stop and then you start a new life. So it's a stop. What John Donne said, just a short sleep and we wake eternally. Now, what we say about this thing? For many of us, we see this thing that death is nothing, just an excuse and escape from all the problems. You have seen the rising suicide rates. Sometimes we blame it social media, sometimes we blame others. Japan has one of the most crucial suicide rate, especially at the age of 40s and 50s. Because a lot of people are taking death as an escape. Our cultural practices, I'll give you a reference. If you have heard about Vrihad Upanishad, there is chapter 1, section 3, shlok 28. Astoma sadgamay, tamsoma jyotirgamay, mrityorma amritgamay. So when they say mrityorma amritgamay, they are talking about the immortality. But what will you do if you're immortal but you are meaningless in this world? Another reference taken from Tennyson. His famous poetry, Thomas, there is a character, he wants to be immortal, and somehow a goddess blesses him with immortality. So being immortal, is it going to be the end of your solutions and desires? No. So what actually mean when you live? What actually mean when you die? So if you're not doing anything, you're already dead. In Paradise Lost, when Eve said that God has told us not to eat this fruit because if we eat, we will die, Satan, Lucifer, he says you are already dead. What is your contribution in the life? So we must understand death, is it just the end of life because the body has been buried, or death in the living life, where T.S. Eliot talks about this thing in the Wasteland. Life in death, death in life. And even in Hindu philosophy, Charvak Darshan, I'll read those lines, Yavat Jive Sukhe Jivat. I'll read this line for you, because I did not remember this line. Yavat Jive Sukham Jive, Rinam Kritya Ghritam Pivat. Jaise jiyo, sukhi jiyo, ऋणम कृत्वा घृतम पीवित ऋण करो उधार करो घी पियो भस्मीभूतस्य देहस्य शरीर है जल जाएगा पुनर्आगमन कुतः और फिर आना है नहीं. So somebody takes like that just live because it's a short life, and here we get the carpe diem philosophy, make the best of it. So what we talked about this, and Thanatopolitics, the professors already have talked about the necropolitics and biopolitics of Foucault. I'm going to talk about this, that death sometimes can become necessary also. And it is going to happen in next coming future. You will be given the options to choose. But we also mentioned euthanasia reference. What if somebody has lived his life, like a famous reference from our teacher, a retired school teacher from Madhya Pradesh. At the age of 70, he wrote a letter to the President of India, that I have got my daughters married, my son, everybody is married, I have lost my better half, I'm living alone, I'm retired, I have paid all my debts, I do not have any liability, and I don't want to continue. Isn't it a human right? Like, I'm not asking your answer, you would think, because you are going to be the future generation dealing with the same things, right? But imagine this, what if he has been given birth without his consent? Was he even asked? So if the birth has been given to him without his consent, and he feels that I don't want to live, I don't want to continue. So this is the reason I think that Switzerland has introduced the suicide pods. Why do you fear death? Is it because it will end your life? No. It's because it's mostly painful. The day they make death very easy, like in the suicide pods, a lot of people will start going for it. And I must tell you, 1 lakh plus people already have registered. So, as our senior professors already have talked about these things, and I'm just adding on things because I did not prepare anything. I just want to say, we have a limited time. Make the best of it, because you may die, your body will die. But what you have done, what you have contributed, as Shubhadeep sir ended his lecture with the last slide, it was written there. What you have done, what you have contributed in society, that will never die. That's my message to you all, and thank you so much for bringing me here.
Thank you, Vineet sir, for providing us a new lens to see our society and the novel perspective to see mortality and immortality. And that death may sometimes be the necessity, and soon it will be pain-free too.